and welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Just gonna say it up front here, I do have a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a little nasally, that's why. But anyway, today's video is gonna be super exciting because, as I'm sure you guys have seen all over social media, probably this morning if I can get this video up when I wanted to, Odens is coming out with a new collection, and I'm so excited to be able to share the new collection with you guys and also share the looks that I created with it, give you guys a review, show you guys swatches, all that sort of thing. If you missed it though, Odens is coming out with a limited edition Christmas collection. So they're going to be coming out with a holiday collection. It's going to be launching very soon. I will put the information down in the description box, and also I'll put the price on the screen if you're at all curious. But there are going to be 2 palettes, and along with the palettes when you purchase, they're also going to include a keychain, which I think is totally cute. But yeah, the 2 palettes that they're releasing are Christmas Eve palette and then the Merry Christmas palette, which both are just so Christmas themed. And I was really curious. I was like, okay, Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas, like how different are they going to be? But they are very different, and I love that they went and kind of took this cool tone and warm tone theme to the palettes, because it really makes them stand out and be different from each other. And I'm very excited to be able to share them with you guys and show you guys all the looks that I created with them. And yeah, as I said, I have swatches to share with you guys. I created 6 looks in total, 3 with each of the palettes, and of course, as always, my review will come at the end. So I want to go ahead and open the video up with showing you guys the swatches, and then we'll meet back here to chat for a little bit before we dive into all of the different eye looks and my review on these palettes. So those are the 2 palettes swatched out. You'll have to tell me which of these palettes are you more attracted to or more leaning towards, you know, either getting if you're planning to pick one of them up, or just which one you are more inclined to. Do you like cool tones or warm tones? Let me know that down below in the comments. But talking about the feel of the palette, as I was dipping in and swatching them all out for this video, I will say that I feel like across the board, all the mattes feel as I would expect with them, it being from Odens. Odens has a very good matte formula, and all of these are very, very nice. 1 or 2 of them, especially the lighter tones like this green right here, did feel a little bit, or like look a little bit thin on my arm, but I was able to build it up, and I did use it in a look, and I thought it performed just fine. But it definitely is more of like a neon pastel, so very, very light. But overall, like I said, very consistent to what I expect from them when it comes to the matte formula. And then the shimmers are per usual when it comes to Odens a couple different formulas. There's definitely flakier shadows, and then there's some really nice solid shimmers. Those are the kinds that I love personally. I just love a good shimmer, and also a multi-chrome as well. Those are my thoughts on the swatches. Let's go ahead and just segue right into the tutorials, and then we can meet back here to go over my full thoughts and review on this palette. As I said, I have 3 looks per palette, and we'll go ahead and start with the Christmas Eve, since Eve comes before Christmas Day. We'll start with the Christmas Eve palette and do all 3 of those, and then we'll finish off with the Merry Christmas palette, and I'll show you guys all 6 of the looks I created with these new Odens palettes. You guys know the drill. I always love to hear which was your favorite look. Maybe you can tell me which was your favorite look for each of the palettes, since they're two different type of palettes, or if you just have one look that stood out of all of them, definitely just let me know your thoughts down below and which ones you enjoyed. As I said, I really like the cool tone, warm tone aspect between the two palettes, so there were definitely shades that I gravitated towards, and I just overall had a lot of fun playing with these palettes. So let's dive into the review. So let's break it down one at a time. I'm gonna first go into the Merry Christmas Eve, or not Merry Christmas Eve, the Christmas Eve palette. This palette right here, cool toned, very just kind of different for me, but definitely cool tone tends to be my preference when it comes to winter. I enjoy playing with all different types of shadows, but cool tone and very deep dark tones definitely do make me think of winter, just snow, blue, icy, that type of thing. Maybe that's why, but overall this was a really nice palette, especially as we approach into Christmas. And I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm kind of excited that they're sharing their holiday release so early, so that if you do want to gift this for the holidays or just purchase it so that you can wear it for the holidays, like if you want to wear this around Christmas time, you have plenty of time to pick it up and wear it and have fun with it during the holidays. So anyway, getting back to this palette, overall the matte quality of this palette is exceptional. I had absolutely zero issues blending it out, zero issues with wear time. I tried several different primers, as you guys saw, and I never had any issues at all. They're very pigmented, they're very creamy smooth, very easy to work with, and the color selection for the mattes are very nice. I will say this shade you guys saw in the tutorial me use as a matte, but it is actually like a satin. Don't love satins, but I treated it as a matte and it was fine. It performs a little bit differently, or just acts a little bit differently when I'm blending. A satin does as opposed to a matte, but it's still, at the end of the day, the look that I got did look very matte-esque, so it was fine with me, but I didn't just want to throw that out there. It has a little sheen to it when you touch into it, and then when you work with it, it just doesn't behave quite like a matte, but overall it's fine. And then the shimmers in here, as I said, there are about 2 or 3. This one I definitely say Snowflake, let's see, Snowlight, Blue Ice, and Silvery Dream are those flakier type of shadows that when you pick them up and when you put them on, you gotta be careful. You get a ton of fallout. They're a little bit hard. You want to make sure you press them down. They probably perform best if you use your finger, so you can really press them down. They definitely do give me some fallout throughout the day, but also they are so sparkly. Like my eye look today, I can't get over just how much sparkles on my eyes when I turn my head. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera because I am under all these lights, so I'll stick over here and editing a little like low light, you know, just, it was a camera selfie I just took and I was turning my head, and there's just so much sparkle that you can definitely see in person, and it's beautiful. So something to keep in mind, but actually using it and, you know, putting it in looks and wearing it throughout the day, they're not my favorite just because they get very messy, and that's literally the only reason. I'm someone who likes a very clean look when it comes to my type of makeup, so the whole messy aspect of having all this fallout on my cheeks and then also in, you know, my crease and around my mattes isn't my favorite. It's not my preference. I will wear it, obviously, and I'll create fun looks with it, obviously. And then touching on all the other shimmers, they were really nice to work with. Their multi-chromes are very smooth. I love working with their multi-chromes. They're more of an iridescent type of multi-chrome, so if you have a base underneath them, they'll really shine the best. But overall, it's just smooth, easy to work with, not chunky, not flaky, nothing like that. And then the other shimmers in here are also really nice. I had no issues with them. They're smooth, they're pigmented, they're beautiful. And overall, you know, quality-wise, I cannot fault this palette at all. So the Christmas Eve palette was very, very nice. Segueing over to the Merry Christmas palette. This palette here definitely caught my attention, and, you know, kind of I gravitated toward it the most just because it has those pops of colors. Maybe it's the warm tones too, but it definitely has more pops of colors than the cool tone palette did, because it has that orange, that green up there, this green here, even the hot pink. It has more of those pops that really just draw me in. So I really did have fun creating looks with this palette. Again, the mattes in here absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous to work with. As I think I said in the beginning, this one was a little bit sheer, but I just kind of took a little bit longer to press and pack and build it up, and it performed very well. No issues with blending them, no issues with wear time. They have a very solid formula when it comes to their mattes, and this palette was no exception. Moving over to the shimmers, I feel like this one didn't have as many flaky, chunky type of shadows as the previous one did. Santa Star is definitely the chunkiest and just like really, really flaky, and the New Year is also pretty flaky, and then also a little bit of Snowman. Though Snowman isn't as chunky. It's really just these two that were very obviously kind of, you know, made a mess in the pan, made a mess on my face. I had to really, you know, work to press them out with a brush. It probably would have worked better if I used my finger or that type of thing. These shimmers in here that I really did like was definitely the orange, the hot pink, this green, the multi-chrome up there. Jingle Bell as well is nice and smooth. Snowman and Little Star are also very nice and smooth. Little Star and Snowman, these two shades over here are a little bit more, or these two shades over here, they're a little bit more of an iridescent type of shadow. They don't have a lot of pigment to them, but they do show up. You know, they do go on very nice and smooth. They don't have a ton of fallout, and they have a lot of just sparkly reflex to them, so they're very, very pretty. But the other ones, as I was saying, have a lot of color to them as well. The orange and the hot pink and the green and all that, they have a lot of color. They're really nice and easy easy to apply. I like how pigmented they are, and they're just nice and easy to use and wear, and gives a more of a clean look to your makeup as opposed to the chunkier shadows. But overall, really nice, and also all night depending on what you use it with. I used it with a look, and it tended to lean a lot more yellow than actually orange, so something to keep in mind. And then this shade up here, Elf Swish, is just absolutely stunning. Like, it is so very pretty. I couldn't get over how beautiful and shifty and gorgeous it looks yellow, but then it also looks green. I think that's a multi-chrome. That's what I think a multi-chrome is, so that's what I'm calling it, but it is regardless beautiful. So yeah, to sum this palette review up, I also think it's a fantastic palette. I had no issues with it, and you guys could see in all the looks that I did in this video, all the eye looks look just as nice at the end of the day. The only thing that I will say is that their shimmers, doesn't matter what glitter primer I use, the different glitter primers I use during the tutorials, they do transfer up into my brow bone. The flakier and more sparkly shadows do it even worse, and the more smooth shimmer ones just do it a teeny tiny bit, nothing bad at all. So that's gonna do it for my review. To sum it up here, do I recommend these? Definitely. I will say that they are the quality that I come to know, love, and expect from Odens Eye. If you were at all curious with it being a holiday collection, I know sometimes, especially the mainstream market, when it comes to their holiday collections, they can cut some corners and whatnot. That is not the case here. Like I said, I found it just, I think I should swap this because that's how I've been holding it this whole video. I found the quality of these palettes, the ones I've come to know and love and expect from Odens Eye, and I'm very happy to see that with their limited edition holiday collection, and that they kept true to their formula and created really good quality eyeshadows that are really beautiful, very fun color stories, very unique. I mean, part of it is like, oh yes, very Christmassy, but still very unique and a different twist. And of course, as always, when it comes to Odens Eye, the decorations and the packaging of these palettes are absolutely beautiful. It takes me back to my childhood when I look at the artwork on the palettes, and I just love the reflex with all of the gold and holographic type of detail on them. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for my video today. I hope this video was helpful, and my review and my looks and my swatches and everything I shared in this video was helpful for you guys if you were, looking at this trying to determine if you want it or not. I always like to say whenever I remember that, while these are beautiful, while I do recommend them, it doesn't mean that I think you need to go out and buy them ASAP or you definitely need them in your collection. I always like to give you guys a review of the quality of the palettes and of the type of looks, how happy I was with the type of looks that I got, and then you guys can determine for yourself if it's a palette worth picking up, because only you know your collection. I don't know your collection or your preferences when it comes to makeup, but quality wise, I definitely can say I recommend them. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and thank you so much to Odens Eye for sending me these palettes to review early. I really do appreciate that I'm able to have the time to get these videos together and give you guys a pretty thorough review. Yeah, with all that said, as always, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there. I post reels, up close eye swatches, all that sort of thing. And yeah, with all that said, I'll see you guys very soon in that video. Bye guys.